It's the Queen of Spades, coming at your juggler. Mouth sealed with duct tape, 1, 2, checker. Quantum bombs will knock your chin and twist your neck and buck your head off. I'm from a whole other dimension, born killers. We assassinated us, complete obliteration. The dead walk at dawn, and we nearly raised you. We pulled you into parts so we can dissect them. Transmuted all the bullshit that ripped you back together. However, niggas really try to fuck with me. They not knowing who I be. All they know is that I'm married. My rhymes is bloody to the 3rd degree. Like your neck on my guillotine, we murdering the beat. Barbara, it's far too many of us dying. Peace and bright blessings, guys. It's your Queen of Spades coming at you today with another reading. I hope all is well with my royals. All is well with me. And today I plan to do a reading on R. Kelly. All right. So this will be a very brief reading. I just have a couple of questions here. Okay, let's get right into it. Is R. Kelly guilty of all that he is accused of? That's a yes. Did R. Kelly target underage girls who were usually off the radar? Like didn't have parents around, or skipped school, things like that? That's a yes. Okay. Did R. Kelly retain bodily fluids from all of the girls living with him? That's a yes. Okay. Did R. Kelly hire on a priestess, a woman who was able to use the girls' bodily fluids to go hand in hand with domination spells to control their minds and how they moved? That's a yes. Okay. Did R. Kelly abuse these girls on multiple levels? Okay, that's a yes. Um, did he loan those girls um, to others for the purpose of sex trafficking? That's a yes. Did he also do these things to Jocelyn and Azriel? That's a yes. Okay, when Azriel and Jocelyn appeared on the Gayle King um, interview, were they told by R. Kelly to say the things that they stated about their parents and others? Wow. Yeah, that's a yes. Okay. Were Jocelyn's parents' intentions to get money from R. Kelly in exchange for him having Jocelyn? Okay, that's a yes. Wow. What about Azriel's parents? Did they also sell Azriel to R. Kelly in exchange for money? I figured. I just wanted to ask the question Just to make sure. Okay, that's a no, guys. Azriel's parents were different than Jocelyn's. Did R. Kelly keep the girls in his house from being able to watch TV? That's a yes. Was it so that they could not see the news about him and all of these allegations? That's a yes. Okay. Did R. Kelly and Jocelyn get married? Mm, that's a no. Okay. Is Jocelyn pregnant with R. Kelly's baby? That's a no also. Do they plan to get married? Okay, that's a yes. Is it for the purpose of conjugal visits? Okay, that's a yes. Is this all a publicity stunt? Okay, that's a no. This is real. Okay. Was R. Kelly a part of a huge ring of people in high society that are also into sex trafficking? That's a yes. Did they sacrifice him to save themselves from being found out and put in jail? That's a yes. Will he ultimately reveal who they are? Okay, that's a no. Was he made aware that he'd be chosen to be the sacrificial lamb for all of them? That's a yes. Okay, so he's a part of a big plan and he's in compliance with it. Hmm. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. I have one more question, and that's a tarot card question. What will be R. Kelly's ultimate outcome? Spirit, give me a three-card pull, please. What will be R. Kelly's ultimate outcome? Hmm. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Two more, please. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Mm. First card that popped out was the Three of Pentacles. Second card that popped out is the Wheel of Fortune. Next card that popped up is the Four of Cups. Last card that popped out was the World. And on the bottom of the deck, Judgment. He's being judged right now by people all over the world and the Most High. Yeah, his pentacles are drying up and the wheel is still spinning because judgment of him is not done. He has a lot of things that he's going to have to answer for. And, you know, I see people have lots of questions like, well, did what he experienced in his life um, affect, him becoming the person that he became? Absolutely. If you're raped or taken advantage of, or someone older coerces you into um, having, sexual encounters with them, and you're at a young age and you've never experienced um, either one of those situations, can influence you to become different from what you were as an innocent child. Um, and I've seen and observed and heard of, lots of different situations, especially with young men, um, whether it's with, a grown man or a grown woman, kind of like, scoping that person out from childhood and deciding like how they're going to make that child their next victim, how they're going to come at that child to coerce them, into a house or an apartment or a car where they can, take advantage of that child. And, you know, um, I remember an older woman saying, you know, if that male is lucky, then he'll consider that situation as, his first sexual experience rather than, a rape or someone taking advantage of him. Um, but in the event like R. Kelly, where, he's raped by this neighborhood guy, and his mother had started to pursue charges against the guy, but the guy paid her off. And so, she canceled the case that was against him. Um, and then after that, his older sister, from my understanding, began to have sexual encounters with him, and he was more so receiving of those sexual encounters with his sister. Um, yeah, and it ended up turning him into a man who, from my understanding, continued to enjoy having, sexual encounters with men as well as women. Um, he liked girls that looked really boyish, or that were, you know, um, tomboys, um, yeah. So in my dealings with psychology and, from what I have studied and from what I've learned is that when a person goes through extreme cases of um, rape or molestation, especially when they're a child, what ultimately happens is that that person can make one of three choices in their life. Either they hate the act that happened to them so much that they decide in their lives they want nothing to do with that, and they end up not becoming that, and they end up not becoming a victim of that anymore, and they may end up becoming an advocate for the people who do experience and go through being victims of these different things. Then there's the person that ends up becoming that thing that they hated, the very thing that they experienced at the hands of someone who overpowered them as a child. They become that to other children. Um, so they actually take the place of their victim and they become the victimizer when they become an adult. Um, then there's the person that ends up attracting more and more situations over time as life goes by. They were victimized in their childhood. And so as a result, they kind of sink into that. They don't know how to remove that energy or clear that energy from themselves and cleanse themselves of that energy. So they left and right attract, partners or, um, situations where they're repetitively victimized and raped or, you know, um, just constantly and continually. So in R. Kelly's case, he ended up kind of embracing the levels of sexual abuse that he endured as a child, and he ended up becoming a victimizer like his victimizer. And, he ended up coming after, family members of his own um, that were younger than him. He ended up going after, younger girls in the street who nobody really would be looking for or checking for. Um, yeah, he became the very thing um, that changed him and turned his world upside down. And so while I understand that, I do feel like we all have a choice in this world and in this lifetime. And I do feel as though he chose to become this. He chose to become what he is today, which is, a person that has victimized many young girls and women, um, you know, and abused and assaulted and, in many, on multiple different levels. And he became that. He became what he experienced. And while it's understandable, the relation to and the link to why he is what he is today, it still doesn't excuse totally why he is and what he has done today, even though it gives you a picture of his origin and what he experienced and why he ended up ultimately becoming what he became. It doesn't excuse it totally and completely. It doesn't. Because just like any and everyone has choice, he had a choice too. And, you simply choose like whether you're going to do this to other people
or whether you're going to be an advocate for people that experience the things that you experience, or if you're not going to do anything and just, be scared of people, constantly trying to take advantage of you, and as a result attract these situations more and more into your life. um so in his case, he became the victimizer, and on a grand scale, because he had the resources, he had the opportunity, um, he had people covering for him, because as I stated in the reading, there's a huge ring of people in high society, whether they're judges, lawyers, singers, actors, dancers, models, like politicians. There's lots of people um, that are a part of this huge sex trafficking ring that R. Kelly was a part of. And they basically threw him under the bus as the sacrificial lamb. He agreed to it. But as a result, they did what they did to basically protect themselves, and he agreed to it. He allowed it. And all he has to do is sit there and not tell on anybody and take the time that they give him. And then, when he's free, he'll either possibly be accepted back into the community that, of sex traffickers, or, you know, who knows? Maybe he'll change his life. Who knows? Um, but according to his outcome, he's got judgment. Um, he's being watched and he's being looked at by divine, and he's being judged according to his actions and his choices and his decisions. And so, he may not get out of jail for a very long time. um and that was actually something I wanted to ask the pendulum. Is R. Kelly ultimately going to end up spending a lot of time in jail? So that's a strong yes. Yeah. He will serve his time. He can't squeal or tell on anybody that's a part of this large sex trafficking ring that he's a part of. And that's the only way that he'll be taken care of. He'll be looked after, and he will, get out, with a more condensed sentence. That's the only way. Um, but yeah, um, everything that we hear about him is completely true. And yeah, he will have to answer for his actions. And being in jail is one of the ways he will answer for those actions. All right, guys, that's all the questions I have um, concerning R. Kelly. And so, yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace and bright blessings.